Hi everyone! So this week is Mental Health Awareness Week and I wanted to make a video because if you guys didn't already know, I suffer with various mental health issues and I have been for most of my life. And so I wanted to make a video today because I know I talk about it a lot on this channel, but I don't feel like I talk about it enough, and I want to help with the awareness stuff. You know how I love a good awareness week, so I thought I'd make a video. And I was looking back and I thought, what could I do to sort of show people that it gets better? I hate that term so much. I hate the "it gets better" term, but I want to be able to show you that things do improve. So I've pulled out this trusty folder, as you can see, with my little R on it. It has all the important certificates and things throughout my life. It has some really embarrassing things. I'm gonna have to show you this. So this folder contains pretty much everything and anything from the day of my birth, with things like this. That is little tiny Becky on her first year at school, so I'd have been 4 years old. There is also this, which I don't know if you can really see because the sun is sort of shining off of it, but this is apparently Rebecca's first picture of recognisable people. And this was drawn on the 31st of March 1999, so about a month later my baby brother was born and I still couldn't draw people. I was only 3 at the time. It's not bad. It's just not good either, to be quite fair. So anyway, the point of getting this folder out is that it also contains all of my doctor's messages, my doctor's letters from my first initial diagnosis all the way through to January of this year. They basically write up a very long letter like this, and it's called my care plan. So basically they just talk over everything with me and discuss it, and then it gets typed up, put in a letter and sent to my GP. The first letter I received from my psychologist was on the 22nd of October 2013, so nearly 2 years ago. Not quite 2 years ago, but we're getting there. I think I'd seen my GP for the first time in June or July for my mental health issues, and this was the earliest the psychologist could see me. So I had a couple of months where I was really poorly with the wrong medication, and then I saw a psychologist. So I pulled these out recently because I had to photocopy them and send them to the Disabled Students Allowance people so that they could review it and whatnot. And it was the first time I'd actually read any of these documents since I had received them. Admittedly, I don't really read them anyway, because if something bad is going on, I can find it very triggering. So I try to avoid these as much as possible, but I read through it the other day and admittedly I did have a bit of a breakdown the same night. I just cried my eyes out because the person that these letters are about seems like a completely different person, and so it's been really difficult to read these things that just feel so strange and not like they were me at all. So I'm going to read it, all in aid of Mental Health Awareness Week. If I do start crying, I apologise. Admittedly, a lot of the time with the NHS cuts and in their funding, I am constantly switched between psychologists. In the year and a half that I've been seeing psychologists, I've seen 5 different doctors, and I'm about to meet my 6th on Friday. Let's read this. I learned that Rebecca has struggled with a whole range of symptoms ranging from low self-confidence, low mood and also mood swings, a very long-standing severe insomnia to more recently hearing voices in her head. Apparently the insomnia started around the age of 10 and got worse from the age of 12. The worst time was earlier this year when Rebecca was awake almost all night and would only sleep in the early hours of the morning. I remember that. It was horrible. I used to watch the sun come up most days. Since then she'd had some hours of feeling better in herself, but has noticed her moods go into more extremes of feeling high and low in short periods of time. She's also noticed more fleeting suicidal thoughts and on one occasion contemplated to take her prescribed diazepam tablets. So these are my diazepam. I have 5 milligrams and 2 milligrams. I take the 2 milligrams if I'm sort of feeling like a panic attack might be coming, and that is for extreme panic attacks. And I think I took more of those on my university interviews than I did of these ones. I had a really bad suicidal night, and I remember, and all I remember is sitting in my bed with my packets of diazepam out in like an arch in front of me, and one packet sort of sitting in my mouth between my teeth, and I was really contemplating it, and I was crying, and it was a mess. Since August time, she has noticed hearing voices in her head that are different from her own thoughts. Apparently these voices do have conversations in her head, and have, for example, suggested that she takes tablets or jumps in front of a car. I've recommended that Rebecca starts using the Mood Gym, which is a CBT based website. I hated it. I hated that website so much, to the point whenever this doctor would ask me about it, I'd go, oh yeah, I've been using it, and just trying to lie. I hated it so much. It was really dull, and every like problem had their own like character, and it was really, it just frustrated me. Furthermore, I will make referral to our early intervention in psychosis team, as I would like them to assess Rebecca, as well as offer her at least a period of monitoring of her mental state. Which I remember going to. I remember the car journey, I was really panicky about it, because when I first started my mental health journey, I was just constantly worried that every doctor I'd meet would try to section me. These early psychosis team were really lovely, and I remember that I wasn't really with it that day, to the point where I was more focused on the squirrel that was playing in the garden outside. And I think that was probably the first time I saw my mum cry in regards to my mental health issues, and that was really difficult to witness, because when you've got all this going on, you don't really think about other people, and it's not that I mean it in a bad way, but logically you just can't think of other people. And when I saw my mum cry, it was heartbreaking. It was so heartbreaking. Her mum has now taken all her medication under control to avoid any compulsive overdosing. Rebecca and her mum have also been given our crisis card, which I still have, and it still sits by my bed. I've never had to use it though. I've had it since the 21st of October 2013, and I have not yet had to use my crisis card. I'm very proud of that. So that was great. That was an interesting read. I don't know how I feel about that. It was really kind of difficult to read back on it and look at how poorly I was. I mean, a lot of the things that she's saying in that letter are happening at the moment, which can be terrifying. The voices is like a really bad thing for me at the moment. I don't know how comfortable I feel about talking about it, because I get really scared, because when you say you're hearing voices, people instantly go, whoa, okay, stay away from me. But it's not something that I can control, and it's not something that I wish I had. It's horrible and it's terrifying, and the only reason I talk about it is because I want to break that stigma. And at the moment the voices are just terrifying. They don't have distinct voices. They sound like my thought process, but there's multiple voices all in one go, so it's just like me talking over the top of me all the time. And it's been really difficult, because it started not this Monday, the Monday before, so I've nearly had it 2 weeks, and it's like having an abusive friend in your head, because at times they're telling you you're stupid and you're an idiot and you shouldn't be doing things, and it's making you look like a moron and whatnot, and if you share it you'll lose all your friends and all that sort of rubbish. If you talk to everybody, everybody's gonna not want to talk to you, and everybody will get freaked out and leave you, and that's what I've constantly got on in my head. Anyway, I hope that you are all having a wonderful mental health awareness week, and of course I am going to ask you to do one thing for me this week. We've got 1 day left of mental health awareness week. We have just the Friday, this is Thursday, so what I want you to do tomorrow is have at least one 5-minute chat with anybody you know about mental health issues. It's part of the Time to Change campaign, which is trying to break the stigma of mental health issues. So grab a friend or a family member, pull them aside, make a cup of tea and sit and have a chat about mental health issues. It doesn't have to be perfectly timed for 5 minutes, but a 5-minute chat would be all you need to make a difference. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will be back next week. You know my wishy-washy promises. And yeah, I hope you all have lovely weeks. Don't forget to give this video a like, and I will see you soon. Bye!